All right, let's move on to the next topic. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. Now, for me and Chase were pretty much felt the same way about the Cleveland Browns this year. We both thought they were going to go 10-6. I thought they were going to win their division. I thought Pittsburgh was going to come in second. Obviously, Big Ben Roethlisberger is out. Obviously, Big Ben Roethlisberger did not look very good when he was playing. So, Steelers are pretty much out. They're 0-3. They're not going to the playoffs. I'm going to fully admit that I was wrong. I'm going to eat that, okay? The Ravens look pretty good, but the Browns, obviously not the ideal start you want, okay? Obviously, the first game versus the Tennessee Titans, it looked good early. Pretty much fell apart in that second half. I mean, 18 penalties. It just was a bad second half. The Browns were not prepared for that game. But the Titans fully outplayed them in the second half. Next week, they come on the road to face the Jets. I mean, the Jets are terrible. Let's be real. The Browns, they had a good win there, but at times the offense, I thought the Browns underperformed a little bit based on their capability versus the Jets. I mean, they had a good win. It was a 20-point win, but it kind of felt like the Jets were a little bit sort of in the game a little bit. You know, they didn't play to their capability in that game. Obviously, you don't play your best game versus the Jets, you're probably going to win because they're just so terrible. That's just the reality. But obviously versus the Rams, they look pretty good. They look like they can compete with the big boys. And I said in one of my previous videos that in order for me to really start to kind of believe in the Cleveland Browns, I thought that was a game they needed to take. And obviously, they had some players injured in their secondary. You know, they hung around with the Rams. The defending NFC champion Rams, they hung around with
the
them.
Super Bowl Rams.
Yeah, NFC champion.
Yeah, like I don't mean to cut you off like that, but like
no, go ahead.
A lot of people are kind of writing them off already and saying that they're not going to do very good. Like the thing with this team is when you get a brand new head coach in there, it takes a time for that chemistry to develop.
No doubt, he's a rookie head coach, yeah.
Yeah, so it takes time for that chemistry to develop between quarterback and head coach. I mean, I'm going to give you an example. If you look back to last year, Andrew Luck had a brand new head coach in Frank Reich.
They were 1-5.
They were 1-5. But then when the chemistry started getting going with them, they went on a 9-game win streak. Lost one game in that. I will add the schedule's a little bit soft, but you're right. They did. And then they ended up winning their last game of the season to clinch the wild card spot and get them in the playoffs.
Playoff game versus the Texans.
Yeah, and like the Chiefs did the same thing. They started off 1-5 and went and finished 11-5. That same like a few seasons ago with Alex Smith as their quarterback. So it is very possible. But the thing is, they did not play like their whole defensive roster. Even their front four in preseason, they did not play.
Garrett looks like a beast, though. He looks very good.
He's leading the league in sacks right now.
Yeah, he might be defensive player of the year, but go ahead.
There's a possibility. I am happy about that. But you did not play Odell or Jarvis in all of preseason either. So like the developing chemistry with Baker and them is taking a while. And
the offensive line, too, that was a big question.
The offensive line is the biggest question that we have. Like, you traded away your best guard, or your second best guard on the team, or possibly first best in Kevin Zeitler, a veteran, who we signed to a 5-year contract. And you sign him, or trade him away for Olivier Vernon. Granted, that is helping Miles. Like, I like that trade, but I wish we still had him. Because, honestly, if we still had him, our offensive line would be as good, if not better, than they were last year. Because they gave up 5 sacks in 8 games last year for the final 8 games of the season.
Yeah, the offensive line is definitely the issue right now.
And the thing is, Baker's play is kind of a little down right now. I blame it a little bit on the play calling, but also like he's trying to impress and like force plays. Like after the Jets game, he came out and said in his press conference that he realized he made a lot of mistakes. He did not throw to his checkdowns. He did not look at his
kind of getting big play happy. Kind of getting a little big play happy.
And he wanted to go for the big plays and have that gunslinger mentality.
He's going to learn. People have to realize Baker Mayfield didn't play all 16 games last year. He's going to learn to take what the defense gives him and things like that.
Yeah, that's why in the Rams game he threw to his checkdowns. He threw to Chubb. He threw to his running
back.
They
were moving the ball versus a very good defense.
But the fact that we stuck with them and it was a 7-point loss to a Super Bowl team just tells you that they can compete with pretty much anybody and tells you that they could probably win some big games when it comes down to it. And we had our entire secondary gone.
Yeah.
Our 2 starting safeties and Denzel Ward, one of the best corners in the league right now, and Greedy Williams was out, and we still hung with them. And the fact that we're missing 2 offensive weapons in Rashard Higgins, our third receiver, and David Njoku, our tight end, which that would have helped a lot. But the thing is, like, you just got to give him some time. Like, everybody, like, gives all these quarterbacks that do well their first year so much hype and so much praise and expect them to, like, okay, they did well their first year. Let's get...
Now everybody's Patrick Mahomes.
Let's, like, give him all this hype and, like, expect him to do well. And then when they don't do well, they panic. I mean, look at Dak Prescott. His first year went 13-3 with the Cowboys.
Second year didn't make the playoffs.
Second year didn't make the playoffs and struggled, and everybody was questioning like, oh, did the Cowboys find
an MVP candidate right now?
Yeah, and like everybody questioned like, is Dak the guy? And then now look at him.
Dak Prescott's a franchise
quarterback. They're 3-0, and like he's playing like a franchise quarterback. So like
MVP level too.
Yeah, like I said, you got to give people that 3 to 4 year time span. Everybody's not like a gifted quarterback to where they can like have their first and second year like take off and be really good. I think the Browns are gonna win 10 games, and I'm sticking with that. Maybe 9-7, but I think they're gonna have a winning record this year, and they're gonna show everybody that like Baker's their guy. Because like a couple years ago, you look at this team, and they would have lost to the Jets. They would have been blown out by the Super Bowl like team, like the Rams.
Yeah, last year versus the Chargers, they didn't look very good. That was the best team they played last year. They didn't look very good.
They didn't look very good. And then they hung in there with the Texans. They hung in there with the Chiefs and everything. And the fact is that we also having Antonio Callaway is gone too until next week when we play the Seahawks. So he's coming back off of his suspension. So this roster and this team, everybody's hitting the panic button on. You just got to give them time to develop the chemistry, give them time to work through all their issues, and give this offense time to develop, and then start making their assumptions. Because once this offense gets going, like everybody knows it's capable of, they're going to be a good team.
Now, I will say this. You say you got to give them time. In the NFL, it's not like the NBA where you got 82 games. It's not like the MLB where you got 162 games, okay? You can have a night, you can have a bad night. In the NFL, you drop one game, that's a big deal. I mean, not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but again, you want to have every game you can have in the NFL. While I look at this Cleveland Browns upcoming schedule, it's kind of hard. It really is. I mean, I know the back end of the schedule is very, very easy, but I think it was very crucial for the Browns to get that win versus the Titans. I thought that they need to get that win versus the Rams because this upcoming schedule is pretty hard.
That game against the Titans, we were in it till the fourth quarter, and then
we fell apart.
That's when we fell apart. But when you have 18 penalties, 182 yards,
you're not gonna win.
Nobody's gonna win.
Not gonna win.
No team is gonna win with that many penalties, that many yards.
Nope.
We gave them 3 free touchdowns because of that. And that's why they scored. But the upcoming schedule, we get the Ravens, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Patriots.
The Ravens is a road game. The 49ers is a road game. You got Seattle, you got a bye week, and you got the Patriots on the road, and you got the Broncos on the road, not at home. Then you got the Bills, Steelers, Dolphins, at Pittsburgh, Bengals, at Cardinals, Ravens, and then at Bengals. To me, I think that Ravens game is a must-win game. I really do
and we're capable of beating them. Everybody forgets that we beat them last year, the first game that we played them.
That was with Joe Flacco, though.
It's still the same defense. Like
they lost C.J. Mosley.
I know, but I'm saying the same defense that they have. They lost Terrell Suggs and C.J. Mosley, but like we still beat that team. It doesn't matter. Like even the last game of the season when we were driving the ball down the field and everything, and C.J. just happened. Like Baker throws it a good throw and everything, and he just happens to get fingers on it and then tips it and catches the ball. But if C.J. doesn't get his paw on it, we get that first down, and we're going down. We kick a field goal. We win that game. Like everybody forgets that we competed with that team, and we came down to the wire in that game and almost beat the Ravens. Baker does really good in primetime games though too, and like when it comes to the Niners, we play them on Monday night. I think the Niners really haven't faced that good of a defense yet. I mean, the Steelers don't have that good of a defense. The Buccaneers don't have that good of a defense, and the Bengals don't have a good defense.
I think one thing I will say is that when I look at the Ravens, when I look at the 49ers, the Ravens, their pass rush is okay. It's not where it was last year, but still, the Cleveland Browns, that's a road game. I mean, I don't know, man.
Who did the Ravens play?
They played the Chiefs. They hung with the Chiefs. They could have.
Yeah. Okay. First game of the season, they played the Dolphins.
Okay.
A trash defense, a high school defense.
I agree.
The Cardinals. Okay.
They're upcoming.
Their defense is not good.
Sorry,
they got Chandler Jones, Terrell Suggs, Byron Murphy, Patrick Peterson's still gone, and their linebacker core. Who do you have as your linebackers there? Like that's the question. When you look at this Browns defensive roster, if we have our entire secondary and then our entire front four, that's going to give Lamar a run for his money. And not to mention, Steve Wilkes is a better defensive coordinator than Greg Williams. He's not going to do an all-out blitz on Lamar Jackson. He's probably going to have you blitzing
trying to contain him a little bit.
He's probably what they're probably going to do with the Ravens is he's probably going to have the front four blitz, have 2 linebackers sit back and then have one of them blitz the line, which I'm thinking it's going to be Mac Wilson that he's going to have blitz the line, while he has Joe Schobert.
Mac Wilson was a steal.
Yeah, Mac Wilson, I believe, is a great guy.
A 5th round pick.
Yeah.
The heck? He's a 2nd rounder to me, or 1st rounder at best to me.
I thought he was worth the 2nd or 3rd rounder.
Yeah.
But like he was the 3rd best linebacker on everybody's board. But like this team, like we're capable of, and the Niners really haven't played a good defense either. And like you see what happens when you get Jimmy G flustered. He panics and he turns the ball over a lot.
But at the same time, you gotta look at things and say, well, they got Nick Bosa, they got DeForest Buckner, they got D Ford. I mean, let's just be real. That offensive line for the Cleveland Browns not really up to speed. I mean,
I know, but look at this past week. Aaron Donald only had 1 sack on Baker. He got the ball out quickly.
Baker's improved.
Gave it to Chubb, and like the thing is, we can't abandon the run game like we have.
No,
like
running a draw play on 4 for 9, Freddie Kitchens, that's bad.
And then when you're on the 4-yard line, you don't run the ball at all. Like that's bad play calling by Freddie Kitchens. That's where he's got to get better.
That honestly, I'm not gonna say it lost him a game, but definitely did not give him a chance to win, because if you run the ball on 1st down, that sets up so many other things you could do. The fact that you just passed the ball 4 straight plays was not very good to me. Now, to kind of wrap this thing up, I'm out on the Browns. I'm sorry, man. I just am. I think this upcoming schedule is too hard.
I think they got the Seahawks and the Niners that they can win.
No, I don't think they're good. I don't think they're beating the 49ers. If you guys did not know, I was high on the 49ers last season. I said the 49ers would go 10-6 and potentially win their division. Okay, that's how I felt about the 49ers. Okay, and they're undefeated right now. I understand they played Pittsburgh. I understand they played
no defenses.
I get it, but at the same time, it's a road game for Cleveland. They're struggling now. I will say,
but it's a primetime Monday night game. Baker plays well in primetime.
I will say this about Cleveland. They have a chance to sneak into the playoffs, in my opinion. Okay, because
they're second place in the division right now.
I agree, but when I look at things like, okay, the Ravens, 49ers, Seattle at home, I think that you go 1-2 in that stretch of games. Bye week, Patriots at home, Patriots on the road, that's a loss. Broncos, that's a toss-up game. I do think the Browns might have an edge in that game.
We beat them last year in Mile High.
I agree, but at the same time, the Broncos might. I don't know.
We got a much.
Baker doesn't look as good as he looked last year, man.
I know, but we got an upgraded defense too. That's gonna help us. And we faced Joe Flacco that game. Like they always played well against Joe Flacco.
To me, the playoff picture in this AFC picture, you obviously got the Texans division. You obviously got the.
Look at the back half of the schedule. Do you think a lot of those games are winnable?
They are winnable. I think you could go between the Bills at home, the Steelers at home, the Dolphins at home, at Pittsburgh, Bengals at Cardinals, Ravens, Bengals. I see 2 losses probably at most, and I see 1 loss is probably the possibility. But at the same time, you're competing with teams like the Chargers, the Colts, the Bills, the Texans. I do think that the Bills are probably going to get that first wild card spot. I really do. I said the Buffalo Bills were the most underrated team in all of football coming into this year. And I think the Buffalo Bills are off to a good start. They're probably going to win 9 or 10 games this year, okay? Then it comes down to the Indianapolis Colts, the Browns, and the Chargers. For me, I got to tell you, I might give the edge to the Colts. I really do, because their schedule's a lot easier. And I got to tell you, Jacoby Brissett looks pretty. I mean, the Colts are a complete team. Just because Andrew Luck is gone does not mean they're going to be a bad team, in my opinion. Like, they have an elite offensive line. Marlon Mack is playing better than he played last year, okay? They have good wide receivers, okay? T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell they drafted. Devin Funchess. They have good tight ends. Eric Ebron's pretty good. That defense is upcoming and ascending. And they played a pretty good. They played Atlanta this week and they won. They won that game. And I don't know, man. I might be out on the Cleveland Browns. That schedule's hard to me.
It's a little early yet, but like don't count them out. That's all I gotta say. Don't count them out yet.
No doubt. Ravens and Browns definitely is going to be a race to look for. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out, just help me grow as a broadcaster. Help me learn, get other people hip to this channel, just share this channel with all your friends. Share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.